Hello and welcome to the Comics and Crypto podcast. Today we will be joined by Matt Mason, the Chief Content Officer at Palm NFT. We will be discussing his history with Palm NFT and their newest NFT project, Bat Cowls. Well, thank you very much, Matt, for coming on. Why don't you tell us about yourself and how you got started with Palm?
Yeah, hi, how you doing? I'm Matt Mason, Chief Content Officer at Palm. I was lucky enough to be employee number one at Palm. It was the brainchild of a guy called Dan Heyman. He's the CEO. He was leading the largest team of developers working on Ethereum 2 and built some of the biggest L2s and ZK rollups in the world as general manager of Consensus. And he had this idea. He's like, we've got some really good L2s for DeFi. We don't have anything for NFTs, and nobody knows what an NFT is yet. We need to build something more composable from the ground up that's going to serve all of the different use cases for NFTs. And so he came with this idea of launching the Palm network and founded Palm NFT Studio to help bootstrap the development of the network, but then also take on a very small handful of super large projects to really bring a lot of new users into the space. And our work with DC is really the first kind of major project that we have done. That's not technically true. Actually, we did launch with the currency with Damien Hirst, which was obviously a huge blue chip NFT. But in terms of what Palm NFT was really set up to do was bring in hundreds of millions of new users into the space. So make all the crypto complexity, really bury it, make everything very simple, but just have best in class blockchain mechanics under the hood and really deliver on the fun and the storytelling and experiences that you can deliver with Web3.
What do you think, I guess, like sets apart Palm NFT from all these other NFT platforms? These days there's so many of them.
Yeah. There's so many, but we need more. And I think that's this space. It's such a cliche to say it's so early, but it's so early. I think what sets us apart honestly is our culture. Like I've worked in between sort of tech and entertainment for like 20 years. And the founding team here, I think really is a special crew. So Dan is one of the smartest people working in the Ethereum space, our CEO, and his older brother happens to be a guy called David Heyman, who's the third highest grossing film producer in history. He produced all the Harry Potter films, Fantastic Beasts, Quentin Tarantino's last film. And the Heymans are actually, Dan, their father was a really influential producer and film financer and agent in Hollywood. So it's a really interesting to have a guy like Dan who's so accomplished in blockchain world, but so immersed in kind of filmmaking and entertainment. That was a really strong connection. And then Dan brought in Consensus to be a co-founder of the company. Joe Lubin, who is the CEO of Consensus and the founder, is also one of the co-founders of Ethereum. And then the fourth co-founder is a guy called Joe Haig, who is Damien Hirst's business partner, a manager, and manages about 30% of the fine artists in the world who make a living from their work, or the top fine artists. So you've got this really interesting DNA of blockchain, Web3 excellence and fine arts and entertainment excellence. I've worked at a lot of cool places, but more times than not, I've either worked at a tech company that didn't really get content or a content company that didn't really get tech. And I think to do NFTs well, you have to understand both. But more than that, you have to build teams that have humility and the disciplines need to respect each other. And I think that's come from the DNA of our founders and the way, honestly, when I joined Palm, I read all these guys' resumes. I was like, oh, this is too many like egos in one room. I don't know. Let me see. And I met Dan and he was cool. And I got on a call with the four of them. I was like, you guys are really like, this is like a family. This is a good vibe. Like really not just solid people, salt of the earth, just humility and like the nicest crew I've worked with, honestly. And then that foundation let us bring in, Meredith Baxter, our CTO, ETH 1 and 2 core dev, best in class blockchain developer, building an amazing team that's following her. On the creative side, our ECD, Straith Schrader. Straith and I work together at BitTorrent. I've been in the distributed tech space for a while now. But Straith was also ECD at Vice. She led the creative team there. She's incredible. We've got so many great creatives and so many great developers, and they don't treat each other differently because of sort of how we set the company up and the DNA of it all. So yeah, that's my long-winded answer. I don't know if it's a good one, but it's just a good place.
That was great.
Nice. No, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, the team is so important, for guiding where a company is going to go, and especially in the crypto space, it's so important to have the right people on board, because things can go wrong very quickly. So
yeah.
So I also wanted to learn more about the Palm blockchain itself. So is it a layer 2 on Ethereum, or is it a completely separate chain? I'm not too familiar with Palm, so I was just curious.
Yeah, so Palm's a side chain running on Ethereum with a roadmap to sort of decentralize and become a sort of more fully fledged L2 over time. And again, Dan and Meredith, they built some of the most robust L2s in the world that JP Morgan and Microsoft and UBS and a ton of DeFi companies are running on. And they're like, no, let's start with a side chain, because we're going to have to pivot and move quickly. We're going to have to build and iterate, because we literally, people are selling JPEGs. No one knows what we're doing yet. And I think it's going to be that way for a little while. They also probably have best line of sight into, how ETH2 is going to roll out, and all of that. And so thinking about, well, how do we architect for that? How do we build an NFT ecosystem that's going to roll up in a very integrated way with ETH2? And how do we just sort of create this amazing tool set for creators? So the Palm network is a separate foundation and DAO. We're currently hiring a head of foundation, but it's we help stand it up, but we're not running any of the validators on the network at all. Actually, it's Microsoft are one of our big investors, Consensus, Candy Digital, which is the home for Major League Baseball NFTs, exclusively runs on the Palm network. You've got nifties.com, which did the Matrix drop, which did Space Jam that we helped them with. You've got Pace Gallery, one of the biggest art galleries in the world. They have Pace Verso running on Palm. I think we launched the network officially in July with the Damien Hirst drop. We just passed 1 million wallets. We've just gone past sort of 2 million NFTs on the network. And we're about 100 employees at the studio. So it's been a crazy year. It's been the craziest year I've ever had.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's incredible progress. Yeah. And I love that, I guess, the approach of building the chain first. I mean, you look at what happened yesterday with the Bored Ape land drop. They had major issues with gas wars, and a lot of people lost a lot of money on gas, and then after the fact they're like, oh, maybe we should use Ape as with our governance token to create our own side chain and make this more efficient for the future. And it's like, maybe you should have thought of that first.
It's tough, I mean, it's hard to, especially for the Ape community. I mean, it's hard for them not to do things on Ethereum.
Yeah, it's true.
There's so much happening on Ethereum that it makes it difficult for a project. And we have projects come to us now. What should I do? I'm like, you should do this on Ethereum. The way you're trying to do it, there's no choice really. The thing we really founded Palm for was, I mean, it was exactly that, right? It was avoid gas wars. Like, it costs less than 2 cents to mint on Palm, and if you're minting on Palm, we will subsidize that. We'll send you Palm tokens to cover the cost of minting on Palm. The only way to get the Palm token right now is to create something on Palm or buy something from someone who's created on Palm. We are rolling out, you know, the network and what's going to happen with the token and everything in a larger way pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of unsustainable what's going on Ethereum. But it's also really hard to not be connected to Ethereum.
Yeah.
Like DeFi is built on Ethereum.
It's where all the capital is. So
yeah,
it's hard not to build there.
It's the capital, but it's the tools, it's the community, it's what Web3 means in future. It's like, I think not building something that's connected to Ethereum right now is like, it's like building a website in 1997 on a protocol other than HTTP. By 1999, you're going to wish you hadn't done that. Is sort of how I think about it. But yeah, you know, there's just so many reasons to be connected to Ethereum. But it's rough out there when, you know, you have a project like the other side drop and you see those gas walls and it's wow, $177 million. Like, you know, it's stuff like that makes me feel it makes me more sort of bullish in what we're doing at Palm. I love Bored Apes, amazing community. Love everything they've done for the space. But like bringing more people into it, like things like yesterday, people are just like, wow, this is there's no way for me to get here, get involved. So, you know, really trying to expand the space, and I'm sure the Yuga Labs guys are thinking about this a lot today, you know, but we all are.
So Matt, as you know, the VEVE community, they're incredibly passionate people, and they were a bit upset recently. I love it. They were a bit upset, you know, because the Cowls were claiming to be the first officially licensed Batman NFTs. But I just want to say, you know, thank you to you and Josh for coming out on Discord and Twitter and just kind of rebuffing the claim and confirming that the first Batman NFTs were in fact on VEVE. Is there anything specific you'd like to share with the community regarding the situation?
Yeah, well, so maybe I missed this, but we definitely didn't claim that the Bat-Cow collection were the first Batman NFTs, because the Bat-Cow collection weren't even the first Batman NFTs on Palm. Like, we did our first NFTs for Fandom in 2021, and I think the source of all of this was a press release that came out from DC Comics and Palm saying these are the first official DC Comics NFTs. And that language is on the website. It was throughout the communication, and the reason that was there is that was true, right? Like, so DC Direct did the first deal with VEVE, which was a different company. I don't really know the details of it, honestly. Sure. It's not something I spend a lot of time thinking about. But yeah, that was the first time I was really like, oh, the VEVE community is super engaged.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Like, okay, what do we do about this? And you know, it sort of died down and people got their Fandom NFTs, and we hit a code on the back of them, people cracked the cipher, and then we sort of left them hanging for a minute because we were building Cowls. We didn't want to say anything. Yeah. But that was my first experience as the VEVE community. Was like, oh shit, like, don't annoy them. Like, whoa, what happened? What did we do? Like, oh no, okay, no, there were these other Batman NFTs. It's like, all right, okay, that's fine. Like, we weren't trying to be first.
Yeah.
The thing we were trying to do at Fandom, and the thing that we're trying to do at the studio is, like, the thing we did at Fandom, and we didn't really say this a lot, is that was one of, if not the largest drop of NFTs in history at that time. Like, that's how we're not thinking
Major
about
distribution.
FAs and like serial numbers with that. It was like, no, like, get these into the hands of as many fans as possible and make them wonder what they've got and bring them in on this journey. Because not everyone's going to look at those serial numbers on the back. Fewer people are going to put them together. Almost no one's going to get them in the right order, but somebody will. And that'll unlock the next thing, and that'll unlock the next thing. And that was the sort of breadcrumb to announcing Cowls that we created. And that's what we focused on. So when we saw that, we were just like, oh my gosh, like, all right, well, we didn't mean to do that. I don't know what to do. What happened with Cowls, though, in the last week, when we really saw the VEVE community just come out, was like, okay, these guys don't like hate us because we're Palm, they're VEVE. They just love Batman. And like that's
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, they're just great. Like, let's go. And then to see so many people in the VEVE community supporting us and supporting this project, I was just like, all right, like I really don't care what platform or chain you're on or what bags you hold. Like, I mean, I've been here since BitTorrent. I was the CMO of Kraken. I've got lots of bags, got lots of coin, lots of stuff. Like, like thinking about who's going to win, which chain is going to be the dominant chain for NFT. It's like, it's like saying in the 90s, which search engine is going to win the war? Is it going to be Lycos, Excite, or Ask Jeeves? Like, probably none. Who knows, right? What's going to happen? But so, there was no reason for us to get annoyed at the VEVE community for any reason, or because of the way they felt about the Todd McFarlane NFTs and these are first and these are not. But look, like Josh cleared it up. Like, when I saw this all going on last week, I was like, oh man, all right. Well, look, this isn't for us to say at Palm, right? It's not for us to say.
Yeah.
And I saw like all this stuff about, was it even on the blockchain? Was it not on the blockchain? Again, I'm like, look, I just have got no idea, but there's this really passionate community. They bought a digital asset that they're super into. And I'm like, Josh, like, can we say, like, what is the official line? He said, yeah, no, look, here, I've already said this on Discord. Like, these were the first Batman NFTs. Like, all right, everyone, these were the first Batman NFTs. It's all good. Yeah. That floor price is good. And but we like, we're just not interested in being first in that way. And I think VEVE is an amazing platform where those things really matter, right? And I think those things matter on stuff we've done, like the first Damien Hirst currency is worth more than number 10 and 100 and so on and so forth. But the way we sort of think and build here is more about the mechanics and experience. And like, we have a head of story who was one of the pioneers of transmedia storytelling, a woman named Caitlin Burns. She wrote the transmedia story Bibles for Avatar, Halo, Transformers, Pirates of the Caribbean. Caitlin and I go back like 10 years. And when I got here, I was like, no, Caitlin, you've got to come. Like, I don't know how you tell a story with NFTs, but I know that you've been training for this your whole life. I'm so lucky she joined. And there's so many people like that here, where it's like, we're a super weird crew of people. We like you wouldn't put all these, there's economists and game designers and token mechanism people sitting with brilliant art directors and 3D pipeline people, and you wouldn't necessarily put these people in a room together. But we're really thinking about, like, what's the next thing? Like, what's that crazy thing you can do with NFTs? And how do you make it super easy? And how do you make it matter to as many people as possible? So, like, yeah, when I saw the VEVE fam reacting to us doing that, like, for me, the whole thing with like, is this the first Batman scene? I don't know. Like, let me find out for you. But like, I really don't have a horse in this race. If it is, great. If it's not, I'm sorry. It is great. But when we saw the VEVE community looking at what we're doing and saying, this is cool. So, oh, okay. Well, this is our community. Like, this is who we're building for. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, like, I want to show these people we really care about them. Red circle in the profile pic, like, let's go.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things.
You know?
Yeah, about the VEVE community is, they're very passionate about VEVE, of course, but I've learned about a lot of other projects from VEVE, especially Cowls. I mean, I'm very excited about it. So can you tell us a little bit about the Cowls, the project, and the utility behind the NFTs?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we should probably get to that, shouldn't we? Yeah, so yeah, Cowls is a project that really we started really thinking about seriously beginning of this year. Josh came to us and he just had this you know, he just accepted the job as head of NFTs at Warner Brothers. And so here's what I'm thinking. Like, we've done Fandom, we've been thinking a few things, and that's when it really started to come together. Like, okay, let's do something. Just let's create the longest fan journey roadmap that anyone's ever seen, and let's create this incredible collection, which is, you know, less PFP projects and more AAA character. Like, we've all seen AAA games, but what's that character that you can own and you can take it between different worlds and between different places, Web 2, Web 3, IRL, doesn't matter. How do we just make this amazing NFT with Batman? Like, let's start with Batman and let's just go big and create a beautiful network-aware social object that is the connective tissue between all of the things in the DC Universe Infinite. Like, let's go crazy, let's do that. And so we were so excited, and all right. And we'd just seen the Clone X drop, which we were just talking about. And I knew the team there a little bit, that Daz 3D, Taffy, who built and rigged all of those brilliant pieces. And so we reached out to Preston Wu, who's the chief strategy officer and CFO at Daz, and said, look, we've got this amazing project with DC. What do you guys think? And I was talking to Preston and a guy called Ty Dupron, who's the head of product there, who I hadn't met before. I was like, you know, would you guys want to do this? Because I felt like, you're the best 3D shop in the world. You got to come do this with us. I didn't know what they were going to say, and they didn't say it. They just sort of went really quiet. And then Ty leaned into the camera and he rolled up the sleeve of his t-shirt and revealed this Jim Lee Batman tattoo. I was like,
yes,
Nice.
let's go.
Good.
Perfect. All right. So it's just like, all right, like, this is going to write itself. And we worked really well. You know, that team and our team bonded really well. The team at DC were already family at that point after Fandom. Like, we just done so much with them. And it was just, you know, it was, on one hand, it's just these amazing meetings every week with Jim Lee, where he's looking at the art and he's like hand drawing. No, like, you didn't get the eye quite right on that one. Like, look, look, this is an Adam West eye. This is a Frank Miller. Like, watching him sketch on a napkin, he's holding up to a Zoom call without looking at what he's doing, and just seeing the most perfect, like, watching that man work is one of the pleasures of my career. Like, just amazing. So creating this art and working with him and working with the Daz 3D team on that, you know, like, getting Jim comfortable with Web 3 was crazy. He started with, you know, there's too many colors, there's too much variety. Like, it's Batman. Like, let's get back to Batman colors. Like, all right, well, if you're working with 200,000 potential that's going to be minted, you've got to have a wide range of diversity in the collection. So, like, we sort of having that discussion and helping Jim understand Web3 and educating him about different projects. And by sort of, not the end of it, but like a core of the way through it, he was just right there. He was, and DC's made such a commitment to diversity in everything they're doing. He's like, no, this is a way, yeah, this is how we give a Batman cowl to everybody and they can make it their own. So I totally get it. And then him sort of grokking Web3 and then using that new information with just, you know, his insane abilities and talents to really curate this thing the right way. So it does, like, every single one of these things, every single render I've seen, doesn't matter what color it is, doesn't matter what material it is, it looks like Batman. And that's all Jim, right? That's what he brought. And then on the other side of it, so while we're doing the art conversation, there's the utility conversation. And that was different. That was, all right, put all the art aside, like, pretend Jim Lee's not here and Daz 3D's not here and none of our brilliant creatives at Palm are here. This is a piece of paper, right? It's, your name and a membership number, and when we send it to you in the mail, how do we make that worth $300 to a Batman fan? Like, what have we got to put? What does that get you? Forget about the NFT. And that's when we really started getting into, okay, well, what do we got? We got comics, we got all kinds of IRL experiences, we've got game mechanics we can bring in, and we just started really hammering on that. So there's a master document, there's the 2-year roadmap that we put out, which is like 2 pages long. I've got like a 10-page Word document, right?
Yes.
But it was like, here's what we know we can, between Palm DC, we can pull these things off in the next couple of years. These other things, I don't know, like these are crazy. Maybe we can't do it. Maybe your legal team will say no. Maybe our PR team will say no. Maybe none of us will want to do it in 2 months' time. But this 2 years worth of stuff, yes. And you know, like every day, like today, Josh texted me like, you can wave Cowl on the Bored Ape. So what? He's like, yeah, look, I'll show you. You showed me that we tweeted this afternoon. Like, that wasn't a thing yesterday. And like we've committed to, we're going to update this every 52 days in line with, you know, the 52 number in DC. No, like I'm getting texts every day from Warner Brothers about things that they are bringing. And then on our side, you know, I mean, like Palm is such an incredible place. Like game designers hitting me with, we've come up with a really weird new way to do merge and burn that no one's ever seen before. Do you want to, here's a 100-page game development document. Oh my God, if we take that, like there's all this stuff on both sides where our team's throwing mechanics in there, and then you just have this incredible story world to play with. So like, yeah, look, it's nonstop. There's so much we could do. We have to do things in the right order. We have to get the basics right first. The basics of crypto, the mechanics that people need in Web3, all of that. Like our platform's going to launch, it won't have Web3 wallets, sorry, non-custodial wallet integration. We've got to do that. But we built for the kind of the novice fan first, because we wanted to bring in as many people in as possible. So there's like the basics, and then there's just all this crazy on the storytelling side and on the mechanics side. And I'm so excited about this project.
Wow.
Did you ask Jim Lee to mail you that napkin?
No, I would love to get that napkin.
That would be awesome.
He literally drew 3 different Batman eyes. And I don't think he was even looking at the napkin. He was just like, just like anytime you see someone who's the best in the world at what they do it. It doesn't matter what they're doing. I happen to be a huge Batman fan. It was just, that was incredible.
So what's your background in collecting, and do you have anything on VEVE?
We see
don't have
those
anything.
Murakami flowers in the background.
Yeah, right.
Murakami flowers. Yeah, my background. So in terms of NFTs, like my first NFT was a hash mask. I have some Creeps and Weirdos, which was the collection. I'm into like off-brand NFTs. Like I like hash masks because I feel like, okay, that was like super OG.
Yeah, those are classic.
Like Creeps and Weirdos, which was the collection between CryptoPunks and Crypto Kitties from Dada Collective. I've got a few of those.
Like the historical NFTs.
Yeah, I really like historicals. And then I collect things now that I just find like really interesting uses of technology. There's a project I've been involved with since it started called Warps, which is AI music NFTs. Like I'm a big fan of theirs. I collect their stuff. Obviously everything on Palm. Got a lot of really good projects that we've done over time. But like in terms of sort of wider collecting, I mean, for me, I've been a Batman fan since like, you know, Adam West days, growing up watching that as a little kid, on TV, the reruns in London where I grew up. But for me, and then like the Tim Burton film when I was, Josh always says the Batman that you connect with when you're 10 is the Batman that stays with you for life. And it was the Tim Burton Batman that was the first one where I was like, okay, the Michael Keaton Batman, where I was really into it. But it wasn't the movie. But because of the movie, I bought The Dark Knight Returns. And I don't know why, as a 10-year-old, I connected so much with that Batman, like that 50-year-old man having a midlife crisis. But I was like, that was me just in. I was like, Batman is cooler than any other superhero.
Yeah,
I'm done. Like this book is everything to me. And that got me into, everything that Death in the Family, like Arkham Asylum, that all of those graphic novels that were just at the time like really pushing the boundaries of what a graphic novel could be and should be. And the first call we did with DC, I remember like we'd already started working on Space Jam with Josh, so we were working with Warner's, and then we got linked into the DC team, and I pulled down from my bookshelf, which I don't, we're not in this house, none of my books are here, but I just pulled down. I was like, look, I pulled down Death in the Family because I still had that graphic novel edition from 1988. I was like, what you guys did, like the way, like the phone line and like that changed the code in my operating system when you did that. Like this is what you get to do with NFTs in a completely different way. Like this is the stuff. And I didn't think we'd get here this quickly. Like when the NFT comic that you're going to be able to vote on, and Jim Lee is overseeing that personally. The conversations I'm hearing I can't share about the storyline and how it's going to happen, and why is Batman distributing Cowls to the residents of Gotham and assigning factions. Like that stuff is crazy. And I'm excited for the 10 and 11-year-olds who will see that, right? Because that's the crazy thing now.
So the Bat Cowls, they're on sale now. Is there a deadline coming soon?
Yeah, tomorrow. So it's May 2nd now we're recording this. Sorry, it's May 1st now I'm recording this. They are on sale until midnight Pacific time, May 2nd. Reveal starts May 3rd.
Gotcha. Wow. That's awesome.
And what happens? Is that it as far as the sales, the NFTs? Is there going to be any remaining after that, or?
That's it.
Got it.
That's
wow.
it. We create 2 billion possible varieties. We said we would cap them in at 200, just to make sure as many people got in as possible. But we knew it was going to be lower than that, and we was all right. Well, that's as high as we'll go. Like, let's create this crazy number, but let's see what happens. And after this, they're gone. They'll be available in the secondary market.
Yeah.
But the goal for us is, all right, bring in as many people who want to come in now, and then just give them the ride of their life. And the reason for that is, and it's a very like selfish like I always say this to people when you're looking at a project, like look at the team and like, are their goals aligned with yours? Like the goals for Warner Brothers and for Palm NFT Studio here are super aligned. We want wider audiences to care about Web3 and understand why it's fun. There's so much FUD out there, especially, the comic book collectors world, the gaming world, like every possible world that NFTs could touch, there is resistance. And there's people that heard that they're bad for a million different reasons. And look, I'm not saying none of those reasons are warranted. Like Ethereum is energy inefficient. We solved that at Palm, but you can't say that to someone on Twitter. Like, oh no, check out this report the Linux Foundation did on our consensus mechanism. It's not happening, right?
I've gotten attacked for trying to do that before.
No, it's GMO foods or vaccines or pick your thing, right? It's like there's an argument about it and you're not going to win the other person. So it's like, let's show people amazing experiences. We don't have to talk about Web3. We absolutely can, but we just have to show people what Web3 means, right? I mean, that's the point here. Like the personal computer exploded when people understood why MP3s were awesome. But if you told someone about MP3s like 5 years or 2 years before that happened, their eyes would glaze. What are you talking about? I'm not saying Bat Cowls is going to be the MP3, but it's going to be one of the important MP3s. It's going to be that thing where suddenly people are like, okay, I want whatever that is. Like, they're not going to be like, wow, a network aware social object that's connected to the metaverse and Web 2 layers. And like, they're not necessarily thinking that way. I know a lot of people are, and they're excited, and I'm thinking that way. I know you guys are. But like, how do you just show something to someone who doesn't know what it is, and like, that is just magic, and I want one. Like, that is the goal, and that's what we're going to deliver on with this project.
That's awesome, man. We are so excited for this project, and I'm definitely gonna be trying to get it back, Cal. I
Yeah,
definitely want one.
Man, it's been so awesome
Yeah.
having you on here, man, and hearing
Yeah.
your passion about the project. Like, we're really pumped for the future of this project, man, and
Absolutely.
it's been really fun to talk to you today.
Yeah, likewise. Well, thanks so much for having me on. Big shout to the Red Circle fam. Yeah, thanks again.